Welcome to Agoracom's Small Cap Breaking News, your daily go-to source for the best small cap headlines for over 65 million investors since 2007. Today, we're not just glancing at headlines, we're really diving deep into some crucial financial and drilling results that you really need to know about. We're zeroing in on what makes these updates truly impactful for you, the investor. Think of it as breaking news style, straight to the point.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, how these numbers, these specific results, they can actually shift a company's whole direction, its valuation even. We're looking for those, aha moments in the data that make you want to dig deeper, go beyond just the press release headline.
Absolutely. Let's kick things off then, looking at precious metals first. First up, Magma Silver Core. They trade on the TSXV Venture, symbol MGMA, and also on the OTCQB as MAGMF. The headline today: Magma Silver's Niñobamba samples point to high-grade targets as drilling nears. Okay, let's unpack this. What did they actually find?
Well, the really compelling part is from their Phase 1 program at Niñobamba down in Peru. They've got these standout grab samples. We're talking grades up to, get this, 14.56 grams per ton gold and 10.59 ounces per ton silver. Really impressive stuff.
Wow, those are some high numbers. Where did they come from exactly?
Their specific ones came from old mine workings near what they call the Jormina Central Target. And it's not just isolated hits. 5 other samples from old workings just north of there averaged 5.32 grams per ton gold and 4.812 ounces per ton silver. Still very strong.
Okay, so strong numbers. But what's the significance beyond just the grades?
The significance is these results validate historic data from Newmont, a major player. And not just validate, sometimes they exceeded it. CEO Stephen Barley actually said, the Phase 1 results have confirmed the accuracy of the historic Newmont results and, in some instances, exceeded them.
Exceeding Newmont's data, that's definitely an aha moment.
Exactly. So this data gives them much sharper drill targets for their Q4 program. It makes that upcoming drilling a really critical catalyst, It pushes the project towards a clearer resource story.
That validation is powerful. But these are grab samples, right? How does this fit into their bigger geological picture? What's the potential here?
Good point. The mix of these high-grade hits and the broader sort of anomalous halos they're seeing, it's very consistent with epithermal systems. And epithermal systems, as you know, can host some major gold and silver deposits globally, often with very high grades.
Right, so potential for different types of mineralization.
Precisely. It suggests they might have both high-grade veins and potentially larger lower-grade zones, that kind of geological diversity. It offers flexibility. It potentially de-risks the project a bit for investors, gives them options depending on metal prices, maybe attracts different kinds of development interests later on.
But the caveats.
Well, grab samples are selective, obviously. They pick the best-looking rocks. And the historic data, while useful, isn't NI 43-101 compliant. That's the Canadian standard investors rely on.
So the upcoming drilling is really where the proof will be.
Absolutely key. That's what will define the real scale and consistency.
Okay, let's shift gears. From metals deep in the earth to consumer health. Let's look at Quantum BioPharma Ltd. They trade on the CSE as QNTM and also on NASDAQ, same symbol, QNTM. They're big news. Quantum BioPharma wins Health Canada product license for Clarity, opening a new consumer health channel.
Yeah, this is a pretty significant regulatory win. It has immediate commercial implications. They got the Health Canada product license number 8014141 for those tracking for their product Clarity.
And what does that license allow them to claim?
It allows specific approved uses in Canada, things like helping energy production, metabolism, maintaining electrolyte balance, enhancing physical energy, reducing fatigue, promoting endurance, alertness, cognitive performance. Pretty broad claims.
So they can start selling in Canada right away.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It opens up that market immediately. And what's also interesting for investors is their structure with the U.S. brand, Unbuzzed Wellness. Quantum keeps 20.10% ownership of Unbuzzed, plus they get a 7% royalty on Unbuzzed sales until it hits $250 million cumulative.
And after that?
Then it drops to 3%, but in perpetuity. So a long-term potential income stream. CEO Zishan Saeed called it a milestone in Quantum BioPharma's mission to bring innovative products to the market.
Right.
Looking at the bigger picture, this gives them a diversified kind of near-term revenue stream. It runs alongside their prescription drug pipeline, Lucid MS, which is obviously a much longer game.
A diversification sounds good, get some revenue flowing sooner. But isn't there a risk of splitting focus? Consumer health versus prescription drugs, those are very different paths. How do they manage that?
That's a fair question. The strategy seems to be using Clarity, the consumer product, to generate income and, build some brand presence now. That income could potentially help fund the longer, much more expensive R&D for things like Lucid MS. It's like one part helps fuel the other.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other benefits to this dual track approach?
Well, yeah, there are potential cross-border learnings, right? What works in Canada versus the US in consumer health marketing and distribution. Plus, having an actual product on shelves with approved health claims, that gives investors tangible milestones to watch, much clearer commercial catalysts than just waiting for clinical trial data years down the line.
Okay, clearer catalysts.
It definitely sets them apart from pure R&D biotechs, but, the challenges are still there. They need to execute well in a crowded consumer market. And the prescription side still carries all the usual regulatory hurdles and development risks. No guarantees there.
Okay, speaking of execution results, let's swing back to mining. Provenance Gold Corp this time. They're on the CSE as PAU and OTCQB as PVGDF. The headline, Provenance Gold's new drill hole extends high-grade gold at Eldorado, pointing to a larger system in eastern Oregon. Sounds promising.
Ooh, definitely promising. These results from Eldorado really stand out. Look at hole ED26. They hit 1.55 grams per ton gold over a very broad 92.96 meters. That's significant width.
And within that?
Within that, there's a higher grade chunk, 2.39 grams per ton, gold over almost 26 meters, plus another zone, 0.60 grams per ton over nearly 49 meters. And that second zone included a really high-grade kicker, 11.61 grams per ton, albeit over just 1.52 meters.
Okay, so good grades, good widths. What's the geological significance?
What's critical is this hole extends the known mineralization northward, and it seems to connect with results from an earlier hole, ED21. This strongly suggests the gold system is bigger and, importantly, more continuous than they perhaps thought before. Chairman Rano Pertu put it well. He said, ED26 is a significant hole, and not only delivered broad, consistent, high-grade mineralization, but it also confirmed our geological interpretation.
Which was?
That the gold system is dipping at a low angle and connecting across zones. That connection is key.
Fantastic. So when you see results like this, broad, consistent, high-grade connecting zones, what's the immediate takeaway for investors watching this?
Well, grade and width, that's the magic combination in exploration, right? ED26 delivers on both. It strongly validates their geological model, these shallow dipping connected sheets of mineralization. That's a big technical win.
And beyond the technical win.
It signals to the market that Provenance might really be onto something significant here, perhaps a major asset in the making. You could see a re-rating if follow-up drilling confirms this. And speaking of follow-up, assays are pending for holes ED27 through ED31. Those are definitely near-term catalysts investors will be watching closely. They should help define the system's shape and size better.
Got it. Any cautionary notes here?
Always. Remember, these are reported as downhole lengths. The true width, the actual thickness of the zone, might be less. That needs to be determined. And while ED26 is impressive, one great hole needs backup from others to prove continuity. Plus, the usual factors. Permitting, timelines, it's still exploration.
Okay, let's stay with metals but head north. Osisko Metals Inc., trading on the TSX, symbol OM, and OTCQX as OMZNF. Their news. Osisko Metals' new drilling at Gas Bay suggests a thicker, higher-grade copper zone at depth. Copper, very relevant right now.
Extremely relevant, especially with electrification demanding so much of it. And these Osisko results are quite something. Hole 30-11-10 hit just a remarkably long interval, 1,091.5 meters, averaging 0.20% copper. That's over a kilometer of mineralization, or 0.28% copper equivalent if you include other metals.
Over a kilometer, wow. But what about the grade? 0.20% isn't super high in its own.
Right, but look at hole 30-11-09. That one showed a significant higher grade expansion, 133.7 meters, averaging 1.04% copper. That's a very solid grade over a good width.
Okay, 1.04%, that's more like it.
And another one, hole 30-11-06, hit 159.1 meters, averaging 0.45% copper. But that included 33.8 meters, averaging 1.04% copper. So what these results are pointing to is potentially a thick, tabular, higher grade zone around what they call the E zone, and it might extend further east. The CEO, Robert Wares, said the growth potential of the Gas Bay copper deposit continues to be demonstrated with today's new high-grade results.
So how does this new drilling, especially the higher grade stuff, fit in with their existing resource? They already have a massive resource estimate from earlier this year, right?
They do, a huge one, 824 million tons, indicated at 0.34% copper equivalent and another 670 million tons inferred at 0.38% copper equivalent. It's already a giant.
So with that massive base, what do these new higher-grade hits really mean for Gaspé's future, for investors thinking about its potential economics?
Well, it's potentially very significant. The infill drilling, the holes drilled within the known resource area, helps strengthen the geological confidence. That's crucial for potentially upgrading parts of that resource from the inferred category to the more reliable indicated category in future studies. Higher confidence means lower risk.
Okay, upgrading the existing resource. What about the expansion drilling?
The expansion drilling, hitting mineralization outside the known zones, adds completely new potential ounces, or pounds of copper in this case. These could be included in their next resource update planned for Q1 2026, so potential for growth, too.
Right.
Given copper's strategic importance for the energy transition, a project like Gaspé is already significant, but finding these thicker, potentially higher grade zones, that could really improve the project's overall economics, its risk-reward profile, makes it more attractive.
Makes sense. Still needs more work, though.
Oh, absolutely. Moving from exploration results to feasibility studies is a long road. They'll need more drilling to confirm the continuity of these higher grades, but it's definitely a positive step.
All right, one more deep dive for today. Let's go back to gold with Nev Gold Corp, trading on the TSX Venture as NAU and OTCQX under NAUFF. Headline here: Nev Gold lifts Idaho gold inventory to 1.19 million ounces indicated. Sets sights on preliminary economic assessment. A big resource update.
Yeah, a very substantial update for their Nutmeg Mountain project in Idaho. They've boosted the resource significantly. The updated numbers are 1,186,000 ounces of gold in the indicated category. That's based on 74.2 million tons, grading to 0.50 grams per ton gold.
In inferred.
Plus another 548,000 ounces in the inferred category, grading 0.34 grams per ton from about 49.8 million tons. Remember, indicated has higher confidence than inferred.
Okay, over 1 million ounces indicated. What else stands out?
What really catches the eye is the higher grade subset. If you use a higher cutoff grade, say 0.60 grams per ton, you still have 560,000 ounces indicated, but the grade jumps to 0.92 grams per ton.
Nearly a gram per ton. That's quite good for a heap leach target.
Exactly. And critically, this mineralization starts right at the surface. The company anticipates a conceptual strip ratio of less than 1:1.
Less than 1 ton of waste per ton of ore. That's exceptionally low.
It's fantastic. Huge potential positive impact on future mining costs. The CEO, Brandon Bonifacio, emphasized this. He said, the updated estimate illustrates the size and heap leach grade of this at-surface open-pit oxide gold project and validates the strong growth potential of mineralization.
Okay, so at surface, low strip ratio, higher grade component available.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a mine planner's dream scenario. What does this mean as they move towards a PEA? What will investors look for?
Well, that combination you just described, it offers tremendous flexibility in how you might plan a mine. They could potentially target those higher grade zones near the surface early on. That could mean quicker payback of initial investment, better cash flow right at the start. I've seen similar projects, one in Nevada comes to mind, really surprised positively with their economics because of factors like these.
Right, so the PEA is the next big step.
Correct. They're planning more metallurgical work now, then moving towards that preliminary economic assessment, the PEA. That's the first real comprehensive look at the potential economics, mine design, costs, NPV, IRR, CapEx. Investors will scrutinize those numbers heavily.
Got it. Any upside beyond this current resource?
Yes, they believe so. There's potential from shallow historical drilling that wasn't fully followed up and other targets on the property that haven't been tested yet. So room to grow the resource further.
And the usual cautions.
The usual. Resources are not reserves. They don't have proven economics yet. There might be some limitations with historical data quality control. And of course, the gold price and other market factors always play a role. But overall, a very positive update moving towards that key economic study.
Wow, what a day for small cap news, huh? High-grade gold and copper hits, suggesting bigger systems, a key biotech approval for Canadian sales, and a major gold resource boost setting up an economic study. We've covered a lot of really impactful ground.
Absolutely. Today really underscores how, yes, early-stage companies have risks, but they also offer these unique shots at significant growth when they deliver concrete results like these, verifiable progress. The key always is to look past the headline buzz and ask, okay, what does this result really confirm? What does it enable next? That's where the deeper understanding lies.
So as you, our listener, Think about today's developments. Consider this. Which of these stories might have the biggest ripple effect? Not just for the company involved, but maybe for its sector or even broader market trends. What new questions do these results spark for you? Where do you need to look next? Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into today's small cap breaking news. For more insights and daily updates, make sure you follow Agoracom.